You know, it's a good day when the mic is muted. Let me check this is the correct mic. Yes, it's the correct mic. So, welcome once again, guys, to the new episode of the Cardboard Cave podcast. Last week we had a great event that it was with the amazing Lua Stardust. If you guys missed it out, hey, you still have a chance. It's up on our YouTube channel, so just pass by Cardboard Cave podcast on YouTube, and you guys can go ahead and rewatch this event. We literally first game, Chris went ahead and took it home, and then the second game, with Noda Stacks, just won. We let her do her thing. Um, not only that, guys, if you guys want to like pump up or make your commander or deck, sorry for I'm a little bit sniffing tonight, so I'm very sorry. So if you guys want to make your commander or deck look very spicy for yourself or for your friends, go ahead and go to altersleeves.com. Use our promo code cardboardk for 5% off your order, or as well you can use our affiliate link that is making us support us all the time. One other thing is that you guys can go to our merchandise store, grab our merch. You know, we got different styles of shirts. We have the Only Lands. We have Will You Pay the One as well. We're gonna be making more designs for 2023, and probably now I'm not gonna spoil anything yet, but we are gonna have great things for 2023, guys. Another thing is follow us in all of our social media. It's very easy. Just go ahead, go to our link tree. Everything is there. Our podcast, our social media, and as well, gotta tell you guys one thing. We are right now at 997 followers on TikTok. So we're very close for the 1K. Please pass by our TikTok and support us with your follow. I'm going to go ahead and present the rest of the crew, the host of this show, because remember, guys, we are the number one Magic the Gathering podcast here in Puerto Rico. So we're going to go ahead and present the one and only, the director of directors, the one that has won so many awards from the beginning of time, the one and only Orengo.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, Orengo? You're not going to say anything?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I was gonna show something, but let's get all our hosts here so I can show it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have the we know that when these things happen, the episode is gonna be good.
It's a good episode.
It's gonna be a good episode. Then we're gonna go ahead and call out the one and only, the jank master of them all, the one and only Chris.
One Jack to rule them all, and here he is. What's up, dudes? How y'all been doing?
I'm a little bit sniffy today. I still don't know why. It's because we've been cleaning these past few days. But we're getting there. We're getting there. And then we have the one and only, the one that we call the master of the cube, but as well we call him the master of the dark arts, the one and only JP.
The JP.
Hey, what's up?
Yo,
Hey, what's up, everybody?
I
Guys,
saw him like a few hours ago.
Yeah, who won that game?
You did?
Nice.
I did. I won that game. It was great. I wish we could have seen it.
Well
You're
deserved.
disgusting.
Thank you.
I don't know. I don't even know what happened. I
No.
don't even gotta
It
know.
was
You're
a well
disgusting.
deserved win.
It was a fair win. I casted the Locust God on turn 6 like a
Fair?
good boy on turn 6.
Putting fair.
Yeah, it was
Orengo,
fair.
were
it was a fair
were
game.
you playing a
what is
pre-con?
happening? What is happening to this group? I used to play Jank and Goblins, and now I'm playing like CDH and Control, and now Rengo is getting fair wins. What the hell is this? JP's moving away
I'm
from like
just
Mono
saying.
Black.
And I was against the new Urza too, so I felt a little bad for winning. It was a fun game. It was a fun game.
I am crazy for just like that we can see each other on Friday.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an interesting day. It's gonna be an interesting day. Okay, so I did get something from Orengo. So let's go ahead and show it.
Yeah,
to
we
the
should
people.
start with this because it's a time for celebration.
It's a
Something
time-
has arrived to people's mailboxes.
People
Oh,
got
God.
it.
People
People
actually
got
got it. People got
No.
something.
1 second.
People got
You're
something
joking.
beautiful. People got something beautiful they've been wanting for so long.
like, hold on. We got to do like the drum roll with the numbers.
Yeah,
After how
yeah.
many secret layers has it been now?
Oh my god, it's been like 72,000.
Wasn't it 18 products?
Something like that. It was something obscene, something ridiculous. But we finally have sightings in the wild. The new Secret Lair Commander deck is actually arriving to people's
No?
houses.
No?
Yeah,
Hasn't it been like 18 months?
yeah, it's something ridiculous. The guy didn't fully open it, but he's showing you a little bit of the the box and how it looks and all that.
Wow.
Yeah, like a little coin, like the little Pokemon coin. It's kind of cute. And
I
then
like it
have,
how you
the-
call it a Pokemon coin.
It's basically a Pokemon coin. Let's be honest. And there's the deck. He hasn't opened it. People were asking in the comment section if there's a bonus card, but he didn't answer. So I don't know. We could probably scour
Well-
on Twitter and we could probably find it. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure that if there was a bonus
Pretty
card,
sure
like,
it could
the dude
be
would've-
here.
would've been on
It
the
could be in
post,
this
would've been
stack.
Excited about it. Like, I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know.
He was like very adamant about opening, depending on that post specifically. And some other guy was selling the deck for like $135. He was like, "Guys, I just have it brand new. I'm wanting to sell it right now. I just want to get rid of it."
Oh god.
Yeah.
How long did this one took? Wait. I think this is one of I don't remember. I think Carlos was waiting for this one as well.
This was 18 months, right? It was like a year and a half. Easy. So
Insane.
actually, if Carlos gets it, he can open it on Friday.
Yeah.
Mhm. And that could
If
be
he
content.
gets it.
Fire.
If he gets it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be absolute fire.
Tell him. You should write to him right now. Tell him if he actually
Let me
got it, do
ask
not
him.
open it, and he can open it with us. Because I have product. I'm gonna bring you guys on Friday so we can open it. I have a
Ooh,
collector
okay.
booster, box
Ooh.
of Brothers War. I have the newest unset. I haven't cracked it open yet, and I have the commander decks too, so we can open it. And if something gets like it's crimped or like misplaced, it's gonna be live because we're just gonna open it. I don't know
Oh,
if I have
what if-
something ugly and destroyed.
What if you get one of those like repeat commander decks? The
Oh my god, that'd be so
Ooh.
great. I would love to
Yeah.
just get one of the boxes and have
God.
nothing inside. Just have no
Okay.
commander deck.
We have a comment. It says, Sulian says, gracias que se quedaron callados cuando dijo Ursa.
It was a fun deck. It was a fun deck. I like it.
Actually, it was really interesting because the day that I saw, the day that I saw Chris, we're not gonna talk about the why, but I told Chris like, hey, I want to buy Brothers War, but I just want to buy like a couple of booster packs or whatnot, because usually I just buy booster packs. I give them to my wife and she opens them because she likes cracking packs. So we went to Walmart and I got, I think it was 2 set booster boxes, set boosters, and the draft pack that brings 3. So she goes ahead, she cracks all these booster packs, right? And then she's like, oh, this is whatever. She got the Mox Amber schematic. Sadly, it was not foil. Sadly. But then I was like, let me go through the cards just in case, because probably she missed something.
Yeah.
When I go through the cards, she got one of the mythic Transformers.
Ooh.
And I told her like, hey, you missed this one. And she's like, oh, I didn't notice. I'm like, it's okay, don't worry about it because it's not one that I want. But when I read the card, I was like, now I want to build it as a commander.
Oh, nice.
So I
Those
was like-
Transformers are actually freaking insane, dude.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
there's a couple that are worthy to make a deck with. To be honest.
I've already seen Megatron, and Megatron is really stupid.
Yep.
Is really stupid. And I've already seen Optimus, and let me just say this, and I've said it to my friends recently. I like 3 types of commanders. The ones that draw you cards, the ones that can combo, and the ones that can add you mana. But everybody got a plan to get hit in the mouth. And that Optimus hits you in the mouth really freaking hard.
Okay.
Like,
Cool.
it was, I think, turn 4, and he had a 6/8, 8/8, and a 4/4. That was gonna keep getting bigger because it was the smallest creature.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was
Damn.
disgusting.
Oh
Wow.
my god. That sounds like so much fun.
I don't remember the name of the card. I have my binder here. Let me let me see. I feel like I'm reading the Bible.
I gotta update
Uh,
my stuff. I got like this secret layer. Have it like put my cards there too. This was the one, the Kilaga Sloops or something. You know,
okay,
guys
here we
remember
go.
that
I
one?
got
Yeah.
Blitzwing, Cruel Tormentor. He
Mm.
says, at the beginning of your end step, target opponent loses life equal to the life that player lost this turn. If no life was lost this way, convert Blitzwing. He
Oh,
turns into Blitzwing Adaptive Assailant. Uh, at the beginning of combat, on your turn, choose Flying or Indestructible at random. Blitzwing gains that ability until end of turn. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, convert it. And he's a 3/5. And a 6/5 in the transformed way. I like it. It looks interesting in
yeah.
regards to,
That sounds fun, actually.
building something to like take away life every turn.
Yeah.
Mecha Geek says hi to all of us. Hey, Mecha Geek.
Hey, thank you,
Yo.
Geek. What's up, man?
So, guys,
It,
let's go ahead with the off the top, up the top. First things first. Let's talk about this. I'm not gonna say it's an issue. It was something that could have been solved very easily, but there was a recent DQ on one of the main events for to grab your invitation to the Pro Tour, due to the fact that the player had a collected company, or I think he had the playset of the collected company from Secret Lair Extra Life. And the judges went ahead and DQ'd him because the ruling, they put the ruling that the card was a way to be marked, like that he can always know that that card is the collective company.
there is a bit more details towards it.
Yeah.
Okay, there's more details.
So, well,
I know that I read the tweet that you sent,
I
and
sent I sent
read
I sent
through it.
several
Yeah, but I didn't read the other ones. I read the first
because
two, I think.
Because there was someone on that thread that absolutely chose violence and also like mentioned some extra details in which the person who originally posted it noticed that they purposefully excluded certain details from that.
He kind of
Okay.
mentioned them by passing in his own Twitter thread, but he
it's
wasn't
like,
very
oh
specific.
yeah, I casted collected company, and people just kind of assumed I was cheating because my cards are kind of curled, and is because his cards were kind of curled,
Mhm.
he could know when he was going to draw and when he was not going to draw certain things. So the reason he got DQ'd, or at least the most obvious one, was when he casted Collected Company on his own upkeep
Which is the weirdest time to cast that.
and got creatures out of it.
Yeah.
You had to have known that there were going to be creatures on top of your deck.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And others say that he had some corners marked. So
Wow.
it's a bit more of an acceptable, like if that's the case, then it's more acceptable on the
On the judge's
disqualification.
part.
Yeah, on the judge's part, but also it just keeps bringing on the topic of these secret lair, like some of them just kind of end up really curled up.
And even normal foils too.
Yeah.
Like just general like the
I,
foiling system that they have in place, it's really awful.
I love edge foils for that reason.
I love them too. Even though they're very dark, at least they stay put. They don't like
Mm-hmm.
curl or anything.
I actually kind of like some, depending on what card it is, of course.
Mhm.
I like the dark coloration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of like the multicolor cards that are like gold, like the gold color when it's dark like that usually looks really well. Like
Nice.
I don't know, I really like it so far.
Yeah, I think that in the foil edge format, it's really, at least for me, is very pleasing because not all the cards are the foil edge, like gives them the same treatment. Because when the Commander Legends set came out, you would have some of them that were like really dark, and then you had some of them that were really bright. So
Yeah.
you would mix and match, like I think
It was really
the
inconsistent.
coloring exactly was very inconsistent, and it made it interesting because you would, some of them would look nicer like with the darker tones. You know, in
That's bad
regards to,
printing though, because I
oh yeah,
pulled I remember this. I pulled I opened the pre-release kits of Brothers War, and I opened the boosters, and the ones in the pre-release kit, and then the ones that I got from the set booster, the retro ones look different. When you
Yeah.
look at the text box, some of them have like the crystallization more clear, and the other ones more faded. And even within the same actual kit, I would open a booster and have them one be darker, and then the next one be lighter in the same kit.
Hmm.
So they're like their printing system is whack. It's
Yeah,
horrible.
no, Wizard of the Coast will never fix that. I think.
Bad. No, they're not.
Yeah,
They're
no,
just gonna get
it's like
worse.
you can notice on some of the foils, like when like either like the machine essentially started printing, in which the ink is darker, and then when it started like running out, I guess like the
Hmm.
printing gets lighter.
Oh yeah.
It's ugly.
But
Hmm.
in regards to this DQ, I would say that if it was, now that you guys went ahead and said that there was more to it than just the curled up collected company cards, there was an easy way if it was only the collected company cards.
Hmm.
We did this for what was the card again? The blue card, the extra turn card. I forgot the name of the card.
Time warp.
Was it Time Warp?
Oh, Nexus of Fate. Or
Nexus of
Oh,
Fate.
oh, warp,
Nexus of
time warp.
Fate. That Nexus of Fate, it got that issue on the decks that they curled up, and people would know that they were gonna draw into it. So what they did was like, okay, then you're gonna grab any card and you're gonna write Nexus of Fate on it
Yeah.
and put it there. Have your original copies on the side, and there you go. You play. You
So
know,
again,
but in
legalizing proxies started
ex
with Nexus
ex
of Fate.
exactly. But in regards to if he was cheating, then yeah, DQ all the way. No
Hmm.
questions asked for that.
Mhm.
You know, it's not the first time that we had different Magic the Gathering players and some pro players get banned for tournaments because of cheating. So,
Hmm.
you know,
The thing is, I love how he in the post just really essentially tries to vilify the judges at some point, especially in his like like the third part of the post where he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry to those who were rooting for me. I will have to be more vigilant against
oh
this in
yeah.
the future. If I'm fortunate enough to continue having won an MTG for now, I'm going to have to take a break. Thank you for reading." It's like, come on, dude.
I know.
Like, you really tried hard to like get people off of your back and like just be like, "Oh no, I didn't cheat on purpose."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One more thing that I want to at least bring to the table, guys, before we start talking about Jumpstart and the main topic of tonight. Give me 1 second. Um I would say that most people of the Magic the Gathering community, um we are all geeks, and we all just love the fact that, okay, this is not gonna work. Let me see if it does. Okay, kind of did, question mark. Let me see if no. God damn it. When you try to do something and unplanned and it's not working, Jesus. So let me see if I can. Okay, there we go. I think this one will work. It kind of did and it did not. What? When? Whatever. I'm gonna put it big. It looks horrible, but hey, just to continue the podcast. So, we're all geeks. We all have different fandoms. People love anime. People love different shows, comic books, and whatnot. Dungeons and Dragons, but one very big part of the community are very big fans of Power Rangers. And this weekend we had a very sad news that Jason David Frank passed away on Sunday, this past Sunday. Um, at first, people thought it was a rumor because the only certainty that we had was of his trainer and Boss Logic that made like a piece of art and giving out a statement. He passed away because he took his life. Um, and it's really sad that we just lost, the original Green Ranger and other Rangers that he portrayed in the future. and probably we will see him one last time in the film The Legend of the White Dragon. Uh, and in the community, it was really cool because in the community there were somebody posted in one of the groups that he made a, I don't remember what planeswalker he made, or he made a custom planeswalker of the Green Ranger, and he Tommy, Jason David Frank, got to sign it. I know that all of the guys here know that I'm a big fan of Power Rangers, and I got to meet him a couple of times. For me, it was really hard to the news were pretty hard because 2 years ago, well, not 2 years or 3 years ago, 2019, he came to Agata Comic Fest here in Puerto Rico, and I got to at last see him in person and get to speak to him one last time. And it was a great experience, getting to meet one of your childhood heroes. uh but it's sad news that we lost somebody that was great to his fans and hadn't and was great to his family as well. But continuing to the topics of the day, guys, I didn't knew, because I think that we had this conversation one day, about the infamous Jumpstart. We had, I remember one episode they were all confused, like, but wait, isn't like Jumpstart Brothers War coming out, or Jumpstart Dominaria come out,
I mean,
or
yeah.
exactly, and they were like, but wait, isn't there like a Jumpstart 2022 coming out? And we were like, yeah, there's a Jumpstart 2022 coming out, and the spoilers apparently just started popping out of the blue. So it's really cool. We all read some of the cards. Not some. I think we have all read all of the cards. The set is really interesting. I really do like the archetypes that they are bringing in, and the reprints. We're gonna get Ristic Study once again. It's really interesting that we're gonna get it once again.
Its art is so beautiful.
I know,
Yeah,
but
it's really good.
this is the interesting part. I we have here in the Cardboard Cave podcast, we have 4 groups that I wish I knew their names. If Chris, if you can fetch them and we can mention them here in the show. We share our content with 4 groups, and one of them as well. All of them are from the States, but one of them is from Puerto Rico. It's Magic the Gathering Puerto Rico. But we go ahead and share our content to these 4 groups, and it was funny because one of them was like, "Why are we getting anime art again? Is Magic the Gathering turning to Yu-Gi-Oh?" I was like, "Oh no."
That's a good point.
That's a good point. But we're getting anime treatment once again. I don't know if it's gonna be that we get like a normal card and then we have the anime version, or probably they're all just there. We have the anime treatment inside the booster packs.
Yeah.
But let's go around the board. JP, what do you think about the cards that have been released right now? And then we're gonna jump to the top 5 of each cards, the top 5 cards of each one of us.
So, considering as a whole, a lot of the themes are kind of more vague this time. I think they understood. They made them a lot more vague and less focused, because the last one was really focused, and so a lot of archetypes kind of mesh into each other, which is a good thing, in the way that you're gonna have you're gonna get 2 boosters, and you're gonna crack them open, and you're gonna be able to make a good deck, regardless of what you get.
Okay, how about you,
But
Orengo?
there's kind of do wish it was a bit more focused. But
Okay.
I think it's good that it's sort of vague because it allows you a little bit more freedom. And they're very strong too, which is also like very nice, because the last few jump starts that we had, which is basically 2, we had the Dominaria one and then we had the Brothers War one.
Mm-hmm.
They were very focused, but they were trash. They were like absolute trash. They were like great, but no one's playing Jumpstart. Let's be honest here. It's just too much product right now. And although conceptually I love the idea, back in pandemic times, Right now, they even oversaturated that to the point where when it was released, I thought it was the same jumpstart from Brothers War. And I was like, God damn, they packed a lot of really good stuff in that Brothers War one. Why is no one buying it? And then I realized, oh, wait, this is a different one. That's why no one like realized this. So we got to that point where basically everything's just melded together. Like
Especially
I
in a
even got
product like this.
yes, I even got so confused. Like, is Karn in the 2022 one or in Brothers War?
No,
It's in the Brothers War, right?
2022.
No, are you kidding me? I really thought it was in the Brothers War. Imagine that. Like, I was genuinely confused.
I'm still confused now.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. I
At
like
least,
that.
at least in Mythic Spoilers and in
Yeah, no,
MagicSpoilers.com,
they seem to be
it's-
2022.
it seems to be 2022.
So I like them because although they might be a little, they are definitely more unfocused. They are way stronger. So at least it's gonna provide a more fun and more engaging, powerful experience because most of the decks usually have at the mythic level they have, or at the rare mythic level they have a planeswalker, or they have a really strong card that's almost like a commander. And in the uncommon slot, they were very smart because they started adding those planeswalkers from the War of the Sparks. So we have a lot of uncommon planeswalkers in the same pack, which is great because it has a lot of power now. These boosters. So when you crack 2 of these, you're gonna have like a high power gameplay out of it. Sad part is I mean I think people are gonna buy this one because it has really powerful cards in them. But overall, I think the problem was that they oversaturated the idea very quickly, like to the point that Rudy was talking about these. The last 2 jumpstart sets, they were selling for like $60 when they're supposed to be selling for like 100 because no one is buying them. They're trying to like get rid of them. They're like literally throwing them in the trash to see if someone buys them, and no one's buying them. But they're cool. I like them. They have really good, powerful cards. They're not as powerful as the first jumpstart, obviously, but there's pretty good stuff there to play with.
Yeah. How about you, Chris?
Even with like the first jumpstart, just kind of trailing off what I know there, like I feel like this one is definitely going to be. I don't want to like right off the bat say a lot more fun, but honestly, it just looks more fun than even the first jumpstart. Because I remember like opening packs of the first jumpstart and still feeling like, for example, there was the white archetype was absolute garbage. Like. Yeah. To play against other players, the white archetype wasn't absolutely terrible. If you got 2 packs of the white archetype, you basically had a game loss on you. Mm-hmm. And also, the cards that were in it were just really
game loss for the opponent or for you?
For you, if you got 2 of the white ones,
because I got double white when we played, and I beat everyone who played against me because I was just so low. I was so low to the ground I could beat you, and because all my creatures were like pumped each other and gave each other evasion because of +1 counters. I just beat you in the air with a +1 counter deck.
I'm almost sure that there was like a good white pack and a bad white pack, and I'm pretty sure that most people got the bad one actually. Like no joke, because each one there's like either 2 or 3 variants of each of the colors in the original.
Yes, that's true. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of the white versions. Like my box was crap.
And
I was
even
hoping
like
to
the
pull
blue one. Like even in the blue ones, like there was one that had a Ristic Study in it. And
exactly.
There was one that had like absolute
trash, garbage. And I got 2 of the trash ones. I was hoping for a Ristic Study and never pulled one. Yep. So yep.
I
only pulled the Ristic Study out of Jumpstart because I bought bought 2 boosters of Jumpstart when I walked into not ISD Gaming, the other one, the one that's in the mall. I always forget the name. Toys Alley.
Yeah.
I walked into Toys Alley, got a pair of boosters, and boom! I popped out a Ristic Study. That's the only reason, only way I did it because I bought a box of Jumpstart. I did not get a single one of the trash. Chase rares.
Yeah, me neither. Got garbage. Nothing. The whole garbage. It was fun, but it was whole garbage.
I remember I bought they were really cheap in Walmart. They were like for $4 each. I'm like, I'm gonna buy like 5 of them, or I think I bought 6. From the 6, 4 of them were the same one, the same archetype. Yep, I was like,
that would happen a lot.
Okay, yep,
that sucks.
And then my wife, when I got home, my wife was like, "How you did? Did you pull good cards?" I'm like, I'm not gonna talk about it.
I'm not gonna talk about it. This Jumpstart just looks like a lot more fun. And like what I mentioned, like having like a lot of different card types in every pack, I think really just gives, especially new players, because I really like the concept of using Jumpstart to teach new players how to play Magic. And I think it's really cool for new players to get the chance to see like basically all the card types in a game, in a short game of Magic. So definitely a better product than past iterations of it. I'm just worried about, like Orengo mentioned, like the product being like oversaturated, and people just kind of like this product just kind of going like, what's that word? I'm thinking about it in Spanish, like que lo pasan por alto, or like it's kind of gets ignored.
It's gonna go by the wayside.
Exactly. When I think it's actually a really fun product to like play with, and I don't know, it kind of like gave Jumpstart in somewhere in my head just kind of gave me some kind of hope to bring some variant of Draft back into the local game store. I don't know. I feel like if the Jumpstart product is good enough, there's a possibility that could come back, at least if not in the form of actual Draft, in the form of Jumpstart, which I think would be fantastic.
It'd be great incentive to get players to play like a game of like Magic and Friday Night Magic. Like if it's not like actual sealed draft or whatever, just crack 2 boosters. But the problem is that was the original concept, to have like an alternative to like the many various formats that we already have. But would LGSs even buy Jumpstart at this point? I feel like they're not even buying those things.
No,
Yeah.
I agree. I think nobody's buying these.
Although, I don't know. Like these like Jumpstart, this Jumpstart set just doesn't seem as terrible as the past one. So there's a possibility that it could just like pick up. But it's, I don't have like, I have hope for it. I don't have like expectations, however.
It'll depend. Yeah. It's been
depends.
so much product this year specifically. Maybe a lot of Magic players are literally just so burned.
My God, yes.
So burned out that they're
Burnt
like,
and broke,
Jumpstart.
bro.
I don't care about Jumpstart. I'm gonna buy what's even next? Is that the last thing this year? Like genuinely, right?
I think it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be like the last thing, right?
Wait, aren't the commander decks coming out?
True.
Oh,
There's
well,
another.
The starter decks, yeah.
I feel like people would even buy that
Commander
over
starters?
the even.
It's commander starter decks, yeah.
I feel like people will buy that over
Is there
Jumpstart.
supposed to be any difference between Commander starters and Commander like?
Yes.
There's a few differences, yeah.
There's a few differences, and budget is one of them.
Mhm.
I think the most expensive one in total with cards individually is going for around $37. With individual cards.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming they're gonna sell the product for like 25.
Oh,
Yeah.
It'll be like a cheaper, like a very entry level commander deck, but it's still kind of strong. But it's like I feel it's monocolor.
It's well. It's no. I feel like it's well built.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
cheap, but it's well built.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like
That's
people will
good,
probably
you
buy
know.
that before buying
that sounds like
Jumpstart.
a fantastic
But the
idea.
problem is, people don't buy those Jumpstart 2022. Then what happens? Those cards are gonna, like, if there's any good ones, they're gonna skyrocket into oblivion.
No
Oh
reason,
yeah.
Mhm.
It's like the blue card, the guy that mills cards. That card is still
Brubac,
expensive.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I need
Same
one
case,
for the
Wait, he's
Rogue
not that
Commander.
expensive. How expensive is he? He can't be that.
Well,
expensive.
last time I checked,
was
when
like
I wanted
over
to,
over
$30.
14, yeah.
Oh,
He was
over
$30 for a long time. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I bought him cheap. I have him because I bought him real cheap, like $5 or something. I remember not being, I think I bought him on the downturn when they released more Jumpstart, because the initial wave was very like limited because of pandemic.
He's $25.
Oh, I did not pay $25. That's for sure. I know I paid like $5 or $10 for that. I'm very certain. Because I was like,
but
awesome,
the time
Brubac,
that I
I
was
want to get
looking
it.
for him, he was pretty expensive.
Yeah, because of the first wave. The first wave was very limited, so people got it, and they were very strong cards too. Like the Allosaurus was also super expensive until recently.
It's still kind of is, isn't it?
Well,
It's still
it's
like
30
$40.
Yeah, but at one point it was like 80 or 90 because it was
It's
using
true.
Legacy too. So thankfully it got
true.
reprinted very quickly. But the problem is that, so if no one buys Jumpstart, and some of those cards are very good in Commander, which some of them will be, some of them are actual like legit Commanders in the future,
Oh, yeah.
it's gonna become a problem because they're gonna get very expensive because no one bought the product.
No, yeah, yes. I just got bad news. Carlos has not gotten it. yet. He says that it might arrive Friday or Saturday.
Okay,
He
we'll
said
see.
yet.
He said
He
yet.
said yet.
There might be a
Yes.
chance.
There might be a chance.
Let's
Not
see.
that big,
Let's
but
see. We
there
get a
might be a
box
chance.
opening. Let's see. We get a little box opening. It'd be cool.
Yes, let's hope we do. Okay, guys. So one of the things that we like to do here in the Cardboard Cave is that when spoiler season is on its full, or when the full spoilers come in, we sit down and we talk about the 5 cards that we like of the set. So each one of us chooses 5 cards. We explain the reasons why we like these 5 cards, and then we hope to get them, like that we can use them in the future, right? So we're gonna start off the board. Obviously, the order is mixed. I did not choose the order, but the first person to be on the hot chair is Chris.
Woo!
Oh,
Nice. Look at that
wait.
nice little
It'd
graphic.
be
Look at
me.
that shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Look at
leveling
us
up.
moving up. Hell yeah.
Leveling up, yeah.
All right. So first card on the list was Zask, Skittering Swarmlord. I enjoy this because I had this idea of trying to build a commander around Grist at some point. But I don't know. I just didn't particularly, even though I like the fact that Grist kind of bypasses the fact that it's a planeswalker by saying, like, whenever it's not on the battlefield, it's an insect. It's really cool. I don't know. I feel like I wanted something in the command zone that really just like spoke to me. Just said like, yes, I am cool insect lord. And with Zask, I feel like I finally got it. It's at a mana cost of 5, which I don't particularly enjoy. As like I probably mentioned before, I prefer to keep my commanders under 4 mana costs or under. But it's still really cool, 5/5 insect that lets you play lands and insect spells from your graveyard, and it also mills you. So it gives you card advantage. So whenever an insect you control dies, you put it on the bottom of its owner's library, so it doesn't go to your graveyard, and you mill 2 cards. I recently started playing with the Warhammer Commander, so the concept of getting card advantage from your graveyard by milling cards from the top of your library recently has been something that I've grown more interested in, without taking it to the extent of, say, what's Mr. Froggy's name?
The Gidrock monster.
Exactly. Not without taking it to the extent of Gitrog, but still feel like I have good card advantage. I think Zask is pretty cool for that. And then on top of that, he has his mana ability. Oh, you're actually blocking. I can't read it now, John. How dare you? So he has his mana ability, and it gives insects +1/+0 and death touch to actually target insect get +1/+0 and death touch until the end of the turn, which is always super huge thing. Give your stuff death touch, right? Tragic Slip. This one I did because of the art and the flavor text. It was automatically very reminiscent of the famed Umbrella scene. I shouldn't even have to say where it's from, but to those who might not know, check out Another. It's a really fun anime if you're into weird horror tropes and stuff. It was reminiscent of that when I initially saw it. And the cool part about it is I like the flavor text that says, she never guessed that her last word would be oops, oops. Mizzix, Replica Rider. This is also another new card we're getting in the set. It's a legendary creature, Goblin Wizard. Of course, I always have to go back to go back to Goblin. I don't go back to Monkey. I go back to Goblin every single time. It's a 4/5 flyer because, of course, the Goblin is riding a dragon, replica dragon mech, if you want to call it that. And then whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may pay 1 and either a blue or red. So it's we're getting the mixed mana symbols back in the Jumpstart set. If you do copy that spell, you may choose new targets for the copy, and if the copy is a permanent spell, it gains haste, and at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice this permanent. Reason why I chose this, it copies things. For starters, as you all know, I am a big fan of extra turn spells. The prospect of not just being able to copy my extra turn spells, but being able to copy any permanents that do, I don't know, just something absolutely ridiculous on the battlefield, this is just great. It allows me to do both things, which I'm a really big fan of, being able to do just everything in a deck, which always tends to be a weakness in my deck building a lot of times. And I feel like Mizzix actually, in this case, allows me to kind of do everything. So who knows? Let's see how that goes. I had a lot of Rhetoric with its cool new anime art. The stacks pieces are freaking great. Each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. There's not a lot to say about it. It just has great art, and it's a card that I enjoy because it's just an really annoying stacks piece. Alandra the Sky Dreamer, another new card, another potential commander. It's in a weird spot in between being a worst Talrand, but also just kind of, I don't know, just like a version of Talrand that has the potential of actually finishing off the board. Because it says whenever you draw your second card each turn, sorry. In contrast to Talrand's, whenever you cast instant or sorcery, it's worse in that regard, right? Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token with flying. And then whenever you draw your fifth card each turn, the Alandra the Sky Dreamer and Drakes you control get +X until the end of the turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So that's potentially looking at something like, casting a bunch of cantrip spells, casting a wheel, maybe copying some spells to get like some more, be able to get more draws off of it. And then maybe like going into a wheel so you can have a bunch of cards in your hand and have some really big Drakes. The problem is that it takes some time to build up, and Drake isn't exactly a tribe in Commander that I'm like aware of. So, just something to like, I guess, consider when trying to build around someone like Alandra. But at the end of the day, I think it's a really interesting commander. It's definitely not like a CDH commander, but it's definitely fun.
I love your list because there's 2 cards here that I even noticed when I checked the cards. I even noticed there was a new Mystics at all. Like, genuinely did not see a new Mystics at all. It's very awesome Mystics. And the Alandra, I didn't even see her either. I think she's more fitting in the 99 with Talrand, I'll be honest, because she's strong, but you're purposely building her if you want to build a worse Tarland, with like a fair Tarland in any case. If you want to build like a fair Tarland, you go with her. But if you want to like pump up your actual deck, you just put her in the 99, and then she can just be a finisher. She's insane.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah. When I saw Chris's top 5, I was like, I know these 2 cards are because of the art.
Oh, by the way, the tragic slip is very interesting because I would say like that flavor text, and there's a couple of cards in the anime one specifically. The flavor text is almost very reminiscent of Uncards.
Yes,
it's kind of
like
insane.
like in a goofy line.
Yeah, there was a monkey one where he was like walking up a skyscraper, and there was someone who say, "Oh, don't worry, like we'll be okay." He's like next to like a banana factory or something.
Yeah,
I'm
like a banana. He's next to a banana processing
plant.
plant.
I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Like nobody panic. We're safe here. He's next to a banana processing plant. It's like, okay, that's out of nowhere, but I freaking love it. Honestly,
that's great. Yeah.
I was going to say something, but I totally forgot what was it. Like I had it right there when Chris was talking. I'm like, I should say this now before I forget. I forgot.
You'll remember in a minute. No worries.
Yeah.
You got this.
So the next person to be on the hot table of Jumpstart 2022 top 5. It's not Jason David Frank.
Jason David Frank. Yes,
it's me. It's not Jason David Frank. Okay, so these are my top 5 cards. Usually I like to pick rares. Very in this set I got to pick an uncommon and a common. Because I like mana rocks. Is one of the things that I like to add in commanders. Plus mana rocks that do something additional to just providing mana. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the first card. The first card is Balan Wandering Knight. Is a 2-drop. Is a 2 and 2 white legendary creature cat knight. She has first strike, and then she's a 3/3, and as well she says she has an ability that says that Balan Wandering Knight has double strike as long as 2 or more equipment cards are attached to it. And then she has a mana ability that says for 1 white and 1 colorless, attach all equipment you control to Balan. I love one of the commander decks that I did, like literally with whatever I had on a box or whatnot, was Light Pause. And Light Pause is really fun to play, and he can get a little bit crazy as well. Balan, I like it. because it's like pause, a little bit much more different, because obviously you have to pay mana to attach everything. You still have to play the equipment, but letting it be that you can make this command, make her your commander, make a mono white commander, and all of your equipments and most of the artifact reducers are colorless, or well, they are colorless. It's really for me. I think there's a good build for her, so that's why I added her on the list, just to make another mono white artifacts equipment deck.
Just
The
saying,
other card,
equipping Helm of the Host for 2 mana sounds like a really good
oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's a
And
good reprint too.
what was this other card? A blade, but the black blade
Black
reforged. The
Forged.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, poof, there for 2 mana, attach everything. Oh god, and have all the swords, all of them. Like just have all the swords and go crazy. Um, Next card is Infernal Idol. It's a 3 mana artifact that provides the taps for black and has 1 and 2. You sacrifice Infernal Idol and you draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. So it's the second effect is what brought me into the card, because I know that there's a lot of sorceries in black that do this same effect, or I think there's a couple of them that are instants, but I like the fact that you choose either to keep it or to do the effect to draw sacrifices and draw. And it's a very it's an artifact that you can, choose when to be able to pop off, because probably you're out of gas and you just tap 3 mana and go ahead, draw 2 cards and even though you lose 2 life, but you just lose some mana rock and you can probably gain back the game. So I just like it because it's a mana rock as well. It has a secondary effect, and it's in the good, I would say the good mana rock price cost range. It only gives you 1 mana, sadly, but having that secondary effect is interesting. This one though is really caught my eye because one is it's an uncommon, two it has flash, three it costs 4 mana, so it's not that expensive. If you're in an artifact deck, that can be less. And then its effect. So it says, as instrument of war enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Then it says creatures of the chosen type get +1/+1. Not only that, if you run a tribal deck, this is an amazing card because it's another card that you can add on your 99 that buffs your creatures. You know, this can go basically, I wouldn't say everywhere, but it's a good card to substitute probably a card that is expensive that buffs your tribal deck. So that's why I chose it. But especially the fact that it has flash. It's like, oh, at the end of your turn, I play this. I play Instruments of War. So it's a very very interesting card. Now this one, this was the first card that was spoiled on Jumpstart. The Kibo Uktabi Prince is 2 and green, legendary creature, Monkey Noble. So it taps, it says each creature a colorless artifact, um each player, my bad, creates a colorless artifact token named Banana.
Hmm.
And then it has the banana has tap, sacrifice this artifact, add red or green, and you gain 2 life. But as well has 2 more effects that says whenever an artifact an opponent control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control that's ape or monkey. Then it has whenever Kibo attacks defending player sacrifices an artifact. And it's a 2/2. I like the card more um more because it's fun and it's a well-round card that you can literally make everybody suffer, or not only suffer, but it's great to have more tribal cards out there, because it makes Commander more interesting. Because just imagine you on your playgroup and they're like, hey, I'm gonna be playing a monkey deck. We're used to get playing seeing decks that are squirrels or bears or dragons and whatnot.
Dragons, angels.
Exactly. So how about we have now one that are apes and monkeys? So love it. And then the next card that I have here, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more, is Merit Lage Slumbers, one blue and one colorless, legendary snow enchantment. Whenever Merit Slumber or another snow permanent enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 10 or more snow permanents, sacrifice Merit. If you do, create Merit Lage, a legendary 2020 black avatar creature token with flying and indestructible. We've seen this before already. There's an actual land that's, I think it's called the Dark Depths, that basically does the same thing. But I think you have to cast cards, if I'm not mistaken.
You have to remove counters.
Remove counters, right?
Yeah.
So you have to remove counters. This one is the other way around. You have to reach a certain amount of permanence. And it's interesting because the thing is that a lot of people um, have mentioned that they want to do more snow permanent commanders. So having this opens doors for more fun commanders out there. And I liked it because, as well, I do have a Yorn that it's been in the binder for a couple of years. So probably I might, just sit down and create a Yorn commander with snow
Interesting you
permanents.
chose Merit Lage's Slumber and not the actual, like, the Yeti.
I chose that one. So
No, exactly.
Oh man, that
So-
thing's sick.
yeah, it is
So
sick.
those are my top 5.
John, so I wanted to point out, I
Uh-huh.
sent a link on the private chats. You should click
Yes.
on it. So you should put it here, because I have a little gripe with that monkey, because it shows WOTC's lack of creativity, sir. Because that is a
Ooh.
Hearthstone card.
Keep
That is
your
a literal
mouth
Hearthstone
shut.
card.
What?
He gives 2 bananas. Scroll down. Look at what the banana does. So the banana
No
is a card that you give to the opponent, and look what it does. So if you scroll down a little bit further, keep scrolling down. They're going to show you the version
Give
that
a
is. There you
minion?
go. +1/+1. What does that monkey do? When you crack that little banana, you give a +1/+1 to a creature. So
Wow.
they basically took the same kind of concept from a very old school, because this is like old school, like beta Hearthstone. It's like an old freaking card. And it's even 3 costed too. So it's like they thought of, like, they copied this card hard.
Is it a nod or is it a copy?
It's a copy, sir. They're creatively bankrupt, and this proves it. They desperately want to be Hearthstone. So
Spicy takes.
yeah,
let's
they
go.
definitely just
Spicy
want to be
takes.
Hearthstone.
Oh God.
Spicy takes with Orengo.
That being said, it's a cool card. I like it a lot.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, yeah, like that. Just sitting down, and there's a lot of cards that I actually did like from this Jumpstart set. One of the one that caught my eye was Balan, because having so many commanders that you can do monocolored and just do so many different routes, especially with her, that you can just do full artifacts, and she being the only creature in the deck, or yeah, the only creature that you're gonna cast. But obviously you're not, because you need obviously the artifact cost reducers, because there are a lot of like artifacts that are very, very expensive. And thinking about it, you guys know that there is this one cost artifact that gives 10/10 for 2 mana. She can be a 13/13 double strike.
You just put it on there. You could
Exactly.
put like a Strom deck, and then just put like everything be Cheerios costed, so 0 costed or 1
Mm-hmm.
mana, and they just be casting, draw, cast, draw, cast, draw, and just stick everything in there,
Yeah.
and have an artifact or enchantment that boosts by the amount of equipment you have, and just slap
Yeah,
someone in the
that's
face.
all that's glitter.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
All that's glitter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next person to be in the hot seat is JP,
Ooh,
my
nice.
man.
So, one of my favorite cards of all time, and a card I use in so many black decks. Reassembling Skeleton is getting a reprint. That art, though,
And the flavor text.
the flavor text is also very much on theme because I love Good Color Gisa. I can't bear to watch these things put themselves back together, Geralf. They remind me of the time you try to cut your own hair. A tragic abomination.
Love it. It's great.
So it's just a really good black card. It just keeps on coming back over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Kiki Jiki is getting
Blueprint.
a reprint.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I also like is because of this art.
Yeah.
When you look at the because he's the mirror breaker. When you look at the mirrors, you could see a little cat.
Yep.
A little hint at what he combos with. Because he combos with
like two different
with-
cats, isn't it?
Felidar Guardian, and Felidar Guardian is a cat beast.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This card, Orengo had it in his list, but I just couldn't not put it.
Yeah.
Which is Preston the Vanisher. He reads. He's 3 and a white, legendary creature, rabbit wizard. Of course, this is the first actual new card. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't cast, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except is a 0/1 white illusion. Then he has the ability 1 and a white, sacrifice 5 illusions, exile target non-land permanent. And he is a 2/5. This is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason he can be very good is because you play a lot of like white has a surprising amount of reanimation, as older cards used to reanimate more often, and that's a part of identity of white, that it's getting back more and more. And flicker and blink have always been part of white. So when you exile a creature and it comes back, it enters the battlefield and it wasn't cast. So you do create a copy of that. And there's loops you can do with 2 creatures. You have a Charming Prince and a Charming Prince and a Flicker Wisp. You exile the Flicker Wisp with the Charming Prince. When the Flicker Wisp enters, you're gonna exile the Charming Prince, and then the copy can the copy can target the Charming Prince, and the original. No, the copy targets the Flicker Wisp, and the original targets the Charming Prince, and then you start creating a loop, because every single time you start creating even more and more creatures.
Okay.
I
Can you
use
just go off of Felidar?
Yes. So Felidar Guardian makes you go infinite. The thing being, the detail being, is that you need to make Felidar Guardian enter the battlefield, and it wasn't cast in order to start the combo. Because Felidar Guardian, the copy will target, like if you manage to enter it without it being cast, the copy will target the original, and the original can target a land. They flicker, and now you make another one and keep on going. Every single time you start floating a mana, it's infinite mana, infinite creatures, and because you have infinite creatures and they're all 0/1s, it's infinite removal. So you can exile everyone's non-land permanents.
Wow.
It's everyone's non-land permanents.
Well,
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
you got the infinite mana too. That's insane.
Mhm.
Yeah. If you
Fun,
have any
fun,
creature
fun.
that draws you a card, because Wall of Omens is a creature that draws you a card, and it is white, probably something you want to be doing, playing here anyways, because it's a good flicker target. There's another creature that gains you a life and draws you a card. Rumor Gatherer, which is from Nuka Pena. If it's like the second creature you play this turn, you make it's like you scry 1 and then draw a card.
Mhm.
When it's the first, you just scry 1. He is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Next card is Magnanimous. Magnanimous Magistrate. 5 and a white, creature human advisor, 3/4. Magnanimous Magistrate enters the battlefield with 5 reprieve counters on it. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, if its mana value was 1 or greater, you may remove that many reprieve counters from Magnanimous Magistrate. If you do, return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control. Mono white, this is just mono white reanimation, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, and it's also a great target for like Preston essentially too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bringing back the magistrate, making a copy of it, having it entered
Mhm.
like with the counters, then having a sack outlet with this would be freaking phenomenal.
Yeah. And the last card is actually one I'm actually very excited to see play. I don't think I'll build it, but I'm very much excited to see play. So Agris costs Eternal Soldier. 3 no white for a legendary creature spirit soldier. He is a 3/4 vigilance. When Argus costs Eternal Soldier becomes the target of an ability, that targets only it, a 1 and a hybrid or white. If you do, copy that ability for each other creature you control that ability could target. Each copy targets a different one of those creatures. Now, this doesn't seem that like wow, because it's only when you target it with an ability. And other commanders that are to this is whenever you target it with a spell. The risk becomes very interesting is because of 2 cards that have been printed recently. Jax is the troublemaker. Red is her to create a target creature. And that creature, you have to sacrifice it at the end of the combat, and then draw a card. So if you target Agris Coast and then pay 2 more mana, you basically can create a copy of each creature on the battlefield under your control, and against them you sacrifice them all and then draw a card for each one. That's a lot of cards. That's a good card. Then there's the other one, which is I had to look him up because I forget his name. His name is Duke Older Ravengard. So this is a card rare from Baldur's Gate. 4 red and a white for a 5/5, and it says at the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gains haste and myriad until end of turn. So you target Agris, you pay 1 and a white, and then just target everything. And everything's gains myriad and haste. You can attack one person, and then you're just attacking everyone with the same amount of creatures, which is insane. I'm sure there's more like interesting stuff you can do with him, but that's what one of my friends and what I've checked up, and he can be very, very good for Boros colors.
That's really interesting. So, the last person
Targeting
on
all
the
that.
hot seat.
Ooh, yeah. Let's go.
Orengo, you were talking, I couldn't hear you.
Oh no! Basically, your commander is the last one that you mentioned is really solid because of the same thing you just said, the Boros thing. Like I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure if people wouldn't use him as a sort of interesting take on sort of spell slingy feather type of commander, they would just stick it in a feather type of deck. So it
But
could be
since
kind of cool. Yeah.
he only uses abilities, which is why it's
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's like a how you say this. It plays like a feather deck, but it's very different in that regard.
yes.
Yeah, it's like a different take, which I like because again, variety is always cool in Commander. The thing is, we get to so much, but like I like it. I like that's why I said from the beginning, like I like these new Commander S types that have come out from this specific Jumpstart 2022 because of the sheer amount of variety that they have, especially the white ones are very strong too. And I have
Yes.
one of those too that I want to highlight. So these are my 5. I am starting with Planner Atlas. It is a 2 colorless. It's an artifact. It is basically a mana rock, but it enters tapped, and you can tap it for colorless. But it also has something else. So it says when Planner Atlas enters the battlefield, you may look at the top 4 cards of your library. If you do, reveal up to 1 land card, not like basic, land card from among them. Put that card at the top of your library, and then the rest on the bottom in the random order. So, we always get so many different 3-costed mana rocks. And although this one isn't perfect,
It's a 2-mana though.
it's a 2-mana though, so it's already better than the rest. And you get to pluck a land from the top 4 and put it on top of your deck to kind of like, set up your next draw spell. Or if you have a draw spell, you can just get it right on the spot. I think it's pretty strong in specific types of decks. Like, it won't fit like on every deck, but if you don't have talismans, if you don't have signets, or if you don't need signets because you may be monocolored, who knows? This could
Actually,
be
in a mono white deck, this would be excellent.
exactly. I feel like, yeah, I agree because it's a two costed mana rock, which is already better than the rest. And it already sets you up for the next draw. And if at worst, if you whiff on the top 4, then that's good because you eliminate 4 cards that probably weren't that good anyways. So I think it's a pretty interesting mana rock. I mean, I know some people have been talking about it, so I just wanted to highlight it because it was very interesting. So the next one I have is called Lita, Mechanical Engineer. She's a 2 colorless and a white for a legendary artifact creature Artificer, and she is a 3/3. She has Vigilance. At the beginning of your end step, untap each other artifact creature you control. You can pay 3 and a white, and you can tap it to create a 5/5 colorless vehicle artifact token named Zeppelin with Flying and Crew 3. I think it's very strong. Generally, I don't love artifact creature synergies and stuff like that, but I like that strictly as a potential white commander. She brings a very interesting play style to otherwise a color that wouldn't be beneficial to white artifact creatures in general, because generally you're looking at hate bear stuff or reanimations cards, or the ones that we're going to talk about soon, like Preston. This one gives you something interesting, which is artifact creatures in a white deck with the possibility of creating a bunch of vehicles and maybe have a vehicle synergy going with it, maybe have a pilot synergy going with it, which can be possible given the recent cards released in oh god, what was the the ninja set. I forgot the ninja set. Kamigawa, thank you. Kamigawa had a bunch of vehicles. The most recent one had a bunch of vehicles and stuff like that, especially in white. So it could bring some potential for you to be able to craft a type of artifact deck with it. I think it's very interesting. White usually has a lot of strategies in terms of creating multiple tokens with anointed procession and stuff like that. So having the possibility of creating a bunch of artifact vehicles and doing shenanigans with them is kind of interesting. The next one is called Kinesos, Priest of Thassa, and I like me some Thassa, so let's read this one. He's a colorless and a blue for a 1/3 legendary creature Merfolk Cleric. So he has 2 things. So the first one is a static ability. If you would scry a number of cards, scry that many cards plus 1 instead. And then the second ability, you pay 3 colorless and you play split mana, either green or blue. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent creature card, you may put that card onto the battlefield. And if you don't put that card into the battlefield, you may put that card on the bottom of your library. So basically, this is the best commander for a Simic, Tribe, Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent deck, because for 4 mana, you get to it's like a Thrasios.
For 4 mana, you put a huge creature on the battlefield.
Yeah, so it's like a Thrasios, but more Timmy-like, because instead of just winning with combos, you just summon an 8/8 for no reason, out of the top of your deck. And the good thing is that it has that scry thing at the beginning, so you can just make a type of Simic deck where you scry a lot, or you have cards that just naturally scry on upkeep or on the end phase or whatever, and you can set up your next upkeep or end step or whatever, because this is not limited to a sorcery speed type of thing. You can do it whenever the hell you want. So you can use it as a surprise attack, as a surprise block. You can use it for whatever you want. For 4 mana, you get to you're going to get your value out of this because most of the Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent cards cost more than 4 mana. So you're just gonna be like, if you have infinite mana, you have a bunch of mana, which Simic usually has. You're gonna be able to like pump out a lot of mana, sink it into this creature, and start summoning a bunch of like gigantic Timmy creatures, so you can punch people in the face with them, which is great because I know that Wizards has been teasing this idea of having a type of commander or a very centric tribe deck with these archetypes, and I think they finally cracked the code with this card. It's a card that I think I would actually just do for fun because I'm pretty sure most people do. They probably have uncommon or like rare, janky Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpents lying around, and you could probably just make a deck like a nonchalant deck with with this as a commander. Now
Sure.
the other one,
With something that could like Concordant Crossroads, you can straight up just win the game. So
exactly. So no, yeah, of course, it has even potentials to win very quickly too. Yeah, I love the card. I mean, I think I kind of want to make it because I'm pretty sure I just have enough to just make a janky version of this just for fun. Because you
Yeah.
could be like, oh, I'm just gonna roll the dice.
Oh
and see what
look,
I get.
oh look, infinite mana.
Exactly.
Oh
Oh,
look,
well, give it a mana.
oops, all Krakens.
Oops, oh crap. Exactly.
Whoopsie.
So the other one is the one that we were kind of discussing, the idea of having like essentially a snow commander, which is something that I wanted for a while, and we actually kind of had back
With
in
Jorn, yeah.
with Jorn, exactly. So this was like an
Okay.
extension of that, but I feel like this one is even stronger. So it's called Izu the
It's
Abominable.
different.
Come on.
Jorn
Those
plays.
two-
Jorn plays. Nobody plays Jorn because Jorn is like a lot of people just play him stacks
Yeah,
because
I
that's
know.
like that would be the best way to play him, and
Yeah.
people don't want to play against stacks
Yeah, exactly.
on casual tables, but this can be played on casual tables, and this is fine.
You can. I feel like you can even play it like in some like stronger, like maybe level 7 or 8, and it could hold its own. I think because there's enough snow cards to kind of justify
No,
its
no,
existence.
Isu the Abominable is great. Yeah.
Yeah. So Isu the Abominable is a 3 colorless and 2 blue for a legendary snow creature Yeti. It's a 5/5. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. It's already strong. You may play snow lands and cast snow spells from top of your library. Super strong. Whenever another snow permanent enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay a green, a white, or a blue. And if you do, put a 1/1 counter on Isu the Abominable. So, and it's snow permanent. So it can be a land. You can just play the land and then
Pumping.
tap it, bump it, and it's already a 5/5. So if you just boost it twice, you can have a 7/7 on board that you can smack someone for 3 times and eliminate them on the table. So it has like a built-in janky kind of win, like it's Voltron-y, but not
If
really.
a creature gets big enough, it'll smack you in the mouth hard.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. It's good because if you have a lot of snow cards, you can just stick him all here. He has 3 colors built in because of its identity, so you can have a really strong band, snow matters type of deck, and it seems kind of fun. You know, you really have a couple of sets that have a lot of snow stuff, snow permanents, especially the last one we saw. So it's potential, like a potentially very strong commander. Not gonna be like a CDH type of thing. It's not gonna be like stacks, but it can be very strong, I think. And the last one, well, I'm not gonna talk much into it because JP already covered basically the amazing aspects of it. But Preston the Vanisher, I feel like it's very cool, and also another type of different tactic for white commanders. And I like this because WotC's finally kind of figuring out, like, okay, we're not gonna make them like the same as other colors. We're going to try to play what the flavor entails. And Preston is a good example of that because, like JP said, they have been bringing white reanimation stuff as of late, and blinking was always a thing. So you add those two mechanics together into a commander that can benefit off of both of those ideas, and then you have something like Preston, which I think could be something that in the future we might see pop up in like EDH Rec as a potentially really strong white commander. So yeah, those are my 5 cards.
Those are the 5
Solid.
cards.
Solid picks, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say that it's really interesting that normally when we choose the 5 cards, normally in previous sets they're all rares.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one we had a little bit of there, a little bit of that. So it's really cool. Really awesome. If you guys want to, if you're a listener or viewer, you can get to see this on our YouTube channel tomorrow because this is live on all of our platforms. Let's go ahead and talk about the final step. I was going to say the final step, the final topic of tonight. Um, Something odd happened a couple of days ago. Well, it was last week, and it's all in regards to the persons and the people behind Wizard of the Coast, because Wizard of the Coast, years back, it was not it was no longer a single company. We all know that Wizard of the Coast got bought by Hasbro, and since then, a lot of things happened since the acquisition. Let's start with no MSRP. So that means that your local game store and your distributors can put whatever price tag they want on the product. From there, quality, quality of every product was
Hit the floor.
Amazing, right?
that's
Hit the
amazing.
floor.
There's been a
There
decline.
was already a bar that was pretty close to the floor, and Hasbro dug a
Exactly.
hole.
So every set, more things would happen. More, the product was horrible. People were getting copies of the same cards, and especially on expensive products like double masters, people would be very mad because on one specific slot that you would have gotten different cards, they were getting the same card. Um, even here, we shown you guys that in one of the unboxings, I think it was for Streets of New Capenna, we had two boxes that had the same cards from the list, same exact cards.
Yeah.
So it's really quality has been horrible.
Quality
And
has
what
not been
happened
doing their job.
exactly? Somebody has not been doing their job. And lastly, not only that, but this year, besides the fact that Wizard of the Coast has been considered or called the billion-dollar company, it's not because um, like they made it happen. It's because Hasbro went ahead and this year gave us plus 40 more than 47 products. That's not including Secret Lair. So it's been product
Which I
after
think is like
product
an
after
odd like
product.
50 or 40 secret layers as well. Because we've gotten at
Exactly.
least one secret layer per product.
And then this is what happens. They mentioned that they are a billion-dollar company, but their stocks started going down,
Yeah.
but like
And
real down.
their stocks have been going down since early this year.
Yes.
And last year actually, because I've been talking about, like, I had mentioned this before, and we have talked about this, like,
And,
just
one of
personally
the first like
before.
business discussions that we had like at the beginning of this year actually, when we were
Yeah.
like just kind of talking about like what we expected to happen like with Wizards of the Coast like throughout the year, like economics wise. I do believe like you mentioned that specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this kind of just jumps up and just kind of is has mounted up. So basically, there's two major articles on two different sites about how Hasbro stock has declined. Uh, though one of the major ones is one of the things that I had talked about, at least between us. I can't remember if I mentioned it in the podcast. Is if the people in Hasbro have been like, what, their stocks, they haven't been buying their own stock. That's how you know then things have been bad. When your own company doesn't buy its own stock.
Yeah.
So they haven't been buying stock, and it has been on a decline all throughout the year, and basically a year and a half around is when the decline started to get noticeable. Noticeable enough that two articles were made up on it, and it's been mentioned a lot more. A lot in these articles, they mention how there's too much product, there's consumer burnout, and that they're going through ideas way too fast. They need to slow down.
Mm-hmm. The sad part
Uh,
is that in this previous week, we all know that weekly MTG is every Thursday. So they went ahead and people started asking, because weekly MTG, for all our listeners, if you're not like a Magic the Gathering advocate as us, um weekly MTG is live on Twitch, and I think it's live in all of their digital platforms. So you can talk on chat, or as well make a donation on Twitch, and your message will pop out. And people started asking in regards to the mention about the stock, and how Bank of America is saying that Hasbro is a
uh,
it's a,
is
I
a
don't
risky
remember this
seller.
exactly.
Is a risky merchant. Yeah, yeah,
It's a risky
yeah.
merchant.
Because there's so many recalls for Secret Lairs that Bank of America did consider them a risky merchant, and some purchases. When you use the Bank of America would automatically get declined, and you had
Mm-hmm.
to like either confirm it manually or call them to confirm, because it is a risky merchant.
No, yeah, and then when the statement came out, weekly MTG went live like any other Thursday, and then people started asking, and the statement was very clear, like, well, yes, we're not gonna stop making all the product that we're throwing it at you. If that product is for you, go ahead and buy it. If it's
Well,
not for you, go jump for to the next one.
the truth is they can't do anything about this, at least now. They can't do anything now.
Mhm.
They can do something in 2024, because the for the most part everything is already set in stone for the next year.
Oh yeah,
They can start doing something on 2024. Maybe it'll be enough, but you know,
sadly,
uh, we as players have been talking about this for the past almost 3 years, and let's hope they listen to their wallet more than they listen to their players.
yeah.
No,
So
don't jinx it like that. Don't
Hey,
jinx it like that.
if if
No,
if
no, no, no,
if
no,
they
no.
listen to
Don't
their
jinx it.
wallet,
Don't jinx
and the stock keeps going down, then eventually they're going like, oh wait, I'm losing money. Maybe I should actually
Look. No, 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 no.
do something smart.
Let's
Mhm.
rephrase that properly. Like we
Okay.
know for a fact that Hasbro and Wizards will listen to the wallets more than they're going to listen to their players. We would
Mhm.
hope
yep,
that they would listen to their players more. However, we all know the
That's
reality
not the case
is
now.
that's not the
we all
case.
know
Yeah,
the reality. We would hope that they listen to their players.
But the thing is, if you get to a point where even professionals are telling them, guys, you are messing up, I think
Yeah,
eventually they have to listen because they're going to lose everything.
yeah. Yeah.
So the
Like
problem is
it's just
that they were aware, and I believe that in Weekly MTG, they addressed these concerns. And basically, Rudy mentioned this. They basically were saying, "Come okay, yeah, we heard you. We're not going to stop the amount of product that we're continuing to pump out the next year. And if you want and he suggested that the consumer should only um buy whatever they want to buy, which is a fancy corporate speak of saying if you don't like it, don't buy it. But the problem
exactly,
is, if you tell that to your consumer base, eventually they are just going to do that. And when you do, they can't sit around and be like, well, what happened? Why is no one buying our 1,000 set of Lord of the Rings? I don't get it. Well, yeah, because you told people not to buy it. So yeah, it's getting to that point where they're not going to be able to like. I mean, this year was impossible. Like I couldn't buy everything. I was just buying singles of the stuff that I wanted. That was it. I bought stuff for Brothers War because, as you guys know, I like Urza and I like artifacts, and I bought for that. But for everything else, it was just like hell. Like you can't keep up. No one has
mm-hmm,
that much expendable income. No one.
well, I mean, there clearly are people who do. And
I
they're the ones
I
that
guess.
put WOTC and Hasbro where they are right now. But the majority of the player base doesn't have that much disposable income, and on top
Even
of
Post
that,
Malone doesn't buy
we're
everything,
going.
okay? Even
Yeah,
Post
yeah,
Malone
no,
doesn't buy
Exactly.
everything.
no, and on top of that, like we're currently
Yeah.
going through like
A recession?
like a
Yes.
recession, yeah.
The
Yes.
start, the
So
start of one.
Yeah,
yeah,
we are definitely going through that. So
and then like this is when you decide to pump out the most product, like, and
Mhm.
somehow the company in terms of like sales is doing freaking stellar. That's what's freaking incredible.
in the short
Um,
term, because that's
of
what
course,
everyone's telling them. In the short term, you are getting those boosts, but
yeah.
eventually you're gonna like destroy everything while you're doing that, which is the concern that
No,
even
yeah.
professionals have. So
Mhm.
One of the things that Wizard of
It's
the
fun.
Coast,
It's funny. We're not exactly professionals, and we've been talking about how unsustainable this
yeah.
whole thing is since the beginning.
yeah,
Since they even announced the
yeah.
amount
But
of product that we were going to get in this year, like
but the
Hmm.
thing is that
it's something big.
when you compare Magic the Gathering with other TCGs, that's put in the table, one of the most recent one that people were like, oh yeah, that card game is nobody's gonna play it because it started on the pandemic and whatnot. Let's talk about Flesh and Blood.
Hmm. Yeah.
They have big tournaments. They have their own pro league, and not only in the U.S., they have pro leagues around the world, and they do listen to the players. Like I saw the recent video that Magic Historian has posted,
Yeah.
and then he's like, I went to one of the big events of Flesh and Blood, and when I heard that players sometimes get a phone call from the CEO just to know, hey, what is the issue that my card game has, like that I can go ahead and see what I can do to make it better. You know, that is top level worrying about your consumer, worrying about the players.
Hmm.
And then Flesh and Blood recently, we're talking about a game that only has, I think, what, 2 years in the market, and Flesh and Blood already
That's
launched their first historic set. That
Hmm.
is the one that is reprinting like the most important cards of the first, I think, is of the first set,
Yeah.
of first two sets. I mean, but it's a
it's
card game that worries about their players.
Hmm.
And if Wizard of the Coast, one of the things that they should do, this is just me, you're making bank because you divide whatever Wizard of the Coast makes in the quarter, that 1% it goes to Hasbro. You're making bank because of all the product that you're throwing out there. And we all know that people did buy the 1K booster box. We all know that people bought it.
Well, we don't know yet because it hasn't gone on sale. So
Well,
that's the
that's
thing.
true, right?
We're
going to know in
checking.
a few days.
We're going to know in a few days, and the theory is that the page is going to say that it's sold out because they don't need to sell that much to make a gigantic profit because we're talking about literal cardboard being sold for $1,000. So they're going
Exactly.
to make a profit. They could sell 50 of those boxes and say, "Oh, we sold out," and then be like, "Oh, okay, you made a
We made a
gigantic profit."
profit.
Yeah.
Exactly. So one of the things that Wizard of the Coast can do, and it's gonna be a very big blow to the gut if they get to do this, because we're talking about a lot of money, is buy themselves out and become again an independent company.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what probably might save them. Because again, you have Wizard of the Coast as your company, but the heads are Hasbro. So whatever the head honcho says, it what goes. So if they're asking for a lot of product because we have to make money, because kids are not buying toys, but adults and old people and people over 40 are buying cardboard, we need to make sure that they keep on buying cardboard. So that's why that's how you know that they just want to, hey, keep producing because these people are just buying, they're just going crazy. They're going crazy. And the thing is that your major event on Las Vegas was not even good as well, because there's more cons of the convention than pros of Magic 30 Las Vegas. So I don't know what they're gonna be doing. What they're gonna do next. So that's my piece of the pie. I really don't know what's gonna happen. A lot of the Magic historian, even the professor, and other content creators have said that they don't give Wizard of the Coast more than 3 years to maintain open doors.
At the
If
rate
this
they're going, yeah.
continues
At the rate,
at the
yeah.
way they're going, that they
Mhm.
don't, we might see the death of Magic the Gathering. And the thing is that obviously we're going to continue playing it because Commander is fun, and um, there's still more decks to be built. There's still content to be created. Uh, but the sad part is the way that they're going, it might be their downfall.
Yeah.
This is the reason why we'll never be sponsored by Wizard of the Coast.
Ah, man, I don't know. I feel like at this point, the downfall of Wizards of the Coast has been like the thing we've all been crying wolf about for like the past, like I don't know, like 5 or 6 years at this point,
Yeah.
probably more. So I don't think this is like the absolute downfall of Magic the Gathering. Again, because mostly because I would like to think that Wizards and Hasbro aren't stupid enough to throw such a huge IP out the window like within the next like 5 or 6 years. 10 years, debatable, but I would hope not. I guess. The other thing, just to kind of like double back on something real quick. You mentioned Flesh and Blood and how like people are getting calls from the CEO, and like there's like a few points I wanna make on that for like future reference, right? Um, it's easy to be close to your player base when your game is young. I don't want to minimize what Flesh and Blood has done in the community, but it's just the way it is. It's really easy for you to be like, oh, the company that listens to their consumer when the company is still small for various reasons, whether it's because you don't have a bunch of like executives, riding your ass all the time, or whether it's because you're just not that greedy yet. And also keep in mind that the growth of Flesh and Blood, not entirely, because again, I don't want to minimize. It's a fantastic card game, and I think it's doing a lot of really cool things, and that feel really unique within like the TCG space. Like when compared to Yu-Gi-Oh and other card games, I think it's really unique and it's really cool. Um, but it's gotten backing from a huge source, which Rudy. It's freaking huge, like this dude can clearly basically hold up a whole ass other company on his own. um and it's also being backed by the professor, like two of like the biggest content creators in like Magic the Gathering. And it's kind of like already taking como que, like TCG community, yes, that's your market, but it's already taking people, not necessarily taking outright in the sense that it's like subtracting from, but more like bringing people from the Magic community into this new card game. So it's not that it can't be like compared in any way or anything, but I think it's still too soon to sit here and just kind of be like, oh yay, like this Flesh and Blood is doing like this amazing thing. Because I don't know, I'm still just kind of waiting and seeing like where are they really going with all this? Like what is this thing really all about? I guess I don't know. I don't trust companies that easily. I suppose is what I want to get at the end of the day, especially when they haven't had the chance to get greedy yet. I think that's when we'll really be able to tell what kind of company and what kind of like people behind Flesh and Blood are. What happens 10 years from now when they finally get that chance to blow up and get greedy? Who are they?
Yeah.
It's nice touching words from Chris. Well, guys, do you guys have anything else? Any final statements in regards to the stonks of Hasbro? Go ahead, buy them, guys. They're cheap.
They are cheap. If you're actually interested, yeah, maybe buy a few stocks.
Yeah.
They're just gonna go lower and lower until it bottoms out. like every
Exactly.
card here in the cardboard cave.
Okay, so that's the end of tonight's episode, guys. So let's go ahead round table. JP, where can people find you?
You can find me here in the Cardboard Cave podcast, talking about cards. How about you, Orengo?
You can find me here, the Cardboard Cave Podcast, talking about cardboard. You can also find me in Sina Podcast. You can find me in 1,000 different podcasts. I'm like in 7 of them with John alone. So it's fun. It's fun doing the podcasting. It's fun to talk about the cardboards and the movies and the life. What about you, Chris? Where can people find you?
Well, just like everybody else, you can find me here in the Cardboard Cave podcast. You can find me and interact with me sometimes on our social media, which is always freaking great. I love seeing you guys' comments. I love, sneaking in there and leaving a few comments for you guys as well and have a few little conversations in the comment section. Haven't passed by some of our social media in a little while, but I promise I'll poke my head around a bit more now. And you can find me at my Twitch sometimes. Crisscross13. Again, I was playing a little bit of like Ghost Runner and a bunch of like other fun stuff. I don't know. I got plans. I got thoughts. Trying to come up with more stuff. You'll see me around. I promise. I promise. John, where can the people find you?
Well, guys, you can find me obviously here in the Cardboard Cave. Remember, all of our social media is at the link tree. So just go ahead and click that link. We have everything there. Our podcast, our YouTube videos, everything is there. So just click it, and as well, you guys can go ahead and enjoy our content as well in Reelin Films. That's my website where I put all our reviews. We have reviews from 3 different creators, including Orengo and myself and Genesis. So pass by our website like that. You guys can enjoy anything in regards to movies. Subtitles required. That we have already planned the movie that we're going to be watching. Then we're going to plan to record it like that. We can send a new podcast for you guys. Let me see what else. Where else can you guys find me? I know, like Orengo said, there's a lot of other podcasts that I'm therefore, so I'm literally everywhere, guys. But one more thing, don't forget, go to altersleeves.com. If you guys want to spice up your decks, go ahead, click that affiliate link or use our promo code Cardboard Cave. Yeah, I get 5% off your order, and as well you will be supporting our show and podcast as well. Our merchandise store, you can find different designs, Magic the Gathering related. There's a lot of great things coming your way as well. Like I mentioned, all of our social media, pass by, especially TikTok. We're about to reach 1K. So we're really excited about that, because if we reach 1K, that means that there's going to be live streams as well in the TikTok. So we're excited about that as well. So nothing, guys. We will see you guys in the next one. So see you next week. Well, do we have something planned for next week? I don't know. Another-
Of course we do. Look, next week we are very close on the release of that Magic 30. We gotta see what those prices are doing in the market. We have already seen an insane Mox Pearl that isn't even like from a set that isn't even out yet, going for $3,000.
And no one buying it.
Yes, no one buying it, but the bid kept going up, and it went all the way up to $3,000. That is insane.
Yeah.
And of course, we're going to be looking at what's going to be happening in the market with those things. I'm actually excited for this release. I'm excited for the release of Magic 30, not because of the product, but because of the insane shenanigans. Because I still want to keep the podcast somewhat.
You know what I wish I had,
man.
Yeah.
You know what I wish I had? I wish that I had Orengo knows about this, but remember, Orengo, when we did that episode for the movie guy of Halloween, that I was in Miami, that I had the little Road Pro whatever thing. I wish I had the little button to just put that video meme. What? Because Jesus Christ, what?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
So there you go, guys. Our next episode is going to be talking about Magic 30, the $1,000 booster box.
Proxy set. No.
Proxy set.
Say it right.
Set.
The $1,000
proxy.
It's not even a set. It's not enough boosters to be a set. But let's cut it off here before I start going on another Magic 30 rant, because no one will be able to stop me if I start that again.
So we will go ahead and see you guys next week. Bye-bye.